Welcome to Pitchside once again. It's great to be back. Finally, we have a game here. No signs of any rain whatsoever. It was absolutely a washout the other night. But today it's freezing. It's 13 degrees, but feels like minus 13 for sure. But we've got a game on of cricket. Islamabad is up against Peshawar Zalmi. And Peshawar Zalmi's Babar Azam. What a century we saw in that previous game between these two sides. Should be a fantastic contest. But today, we've been joined by two new entries on the pitch side. So we've got the legend, Mr. Ramesh Raja, and the legend, Mark Butcher. So great to have you guys here. Firstly, a very warm welcome to you. You've come straight from Bangladesh into this freezing weather of Pindi. Great to have you back.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's the worst thing about this, because this is a much easier seat compared to the seat that are occupied in Pakistan. But it's lovely to be part of you guys and where I actually belong.
But you're also back to where you belong, literally, because you're almost like a local. We see you, and it's great to have you once again in Pindi.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. When I landed on Friday, I thought they just circled around and just dropped me straight back in Heathrow. Freezing cold, pouring down with rain. It was a perfect London February day. But thankfully we got no rain tonight, and it is a little chilly, but we're going to get a game. I don't want to be fielding at backward point tonight with that ball fizzing into my cold hands.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be cold for the players as well. But earlier on we had the toss with Zalmi winning the toss, and no surprises there because they decided to field first. Remember, the conditions that we have here in Pindi have historically been favouring the sides that have been chasing. It's those kind of conditions where the batters love to bat out there and score heaps of runs. Islamabad United then, Ramesh bhai, what do you make of the side overall?
I think they've got the firepower. I mean, their top four look extremely good and potent, but it's the bowling that has lacked firepower at times. They need to win. It's as simple as that. So winning becomes a habit, as we all know. So I'm hoping that we'll see a good contest. They need to put runs on the board, and plenty of runs on the board, because this is going to be a good batting surface.
Yeah, Alex Hales will be seen in action, so they can hope for some runs at the top order as well. Peshawar Zalmi then. A couple of changes for them. Butch, you've just come into the PSL, but I'm sure you've been following their journey so far.
I certainly have, yeah. They've got brought in Ahmed Jamal as the all-rounder. Hasibullah will not be keeping wickets, so we think that Mohammed Harris will take over the gloves. TKC, Tom Kohler-Cadmore, comes back into the side. He's had a bit of a quiet time after really lighting the place up in PSL back in 2023. And of course we've got Zishan as well to give a little bit of extra firepower in the fast bowling department.
There's also a lot of firepower in that batting department. I mean, we saw Rovman Powell, the way he played in that previous game. But Babar Azam, Ramesh bhai, I mean, you followed his career throughout. We know what happened that previous game. What a wonderful performance it was by Babar Azam, and the crowd was all sort of following his innings and really cheering for him. Just in terms of if you've missed out on what happened between these two sides, Peshawar Zalmi made 201 for 5 in their 20 overs. Babar Azam with that magnificent 100 at the top. And in response, Islamabad United at one point looked like they're sort of getting there. Azam Khan, the top scorer, but then they kind of lost their way. But we've got to speak about Babar's century that night. I mean, you've seen quite a few. What is it that, what is that one thing that you love watching about Babar Azam? Because there's quite a few things.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great mix of conventional batting and improvisation, and I quite enjoyed the way he improvised, because you always associate safety and security and class and elegance and original kind of shots with Babar Azam. This is a typical Babar Azam onslaught up front, and then he just opened the field with mesmerizing improvisation, and he's not known to do that, but I think he can expand his range a lot more on such pitches.
Yeah, I wonder if, I think it was here, wasn't it, last year, where Simon Dahl perhaps had a little chat with Babar, and they had a bit of a disagreement about his strike rate, but he certainly didn't struggle with that in this innings. Two wonderful strikes down the ground, as the Spider has got plenty of legs on it there today. And Babar himself described it as his best innings in PSL history, and he's had one or two good ones.
I mean, you talk about shifting gears. If there was one thing that was missing from his game, like Butch spoke about, and we've seen Dooley speak about it as well, it's that ability to improvise. And we're seeing that he has involved in that department, Ramesh. When you look at his career, he's improving day by day.
Yeah, he understands the value of his scalp and also understands the value of being a little bit more aggressive. And I think he's got the ability to do that because he builds up a nice momentum platform. And with the kind of pitches that he's playing on, I think it's an excellent opportunity for him to understand the value of improvisation. And I think now he feels just a little bit relaxed also. Maybe now that he's not captaining the white ball team, maybe that has made him a bit relaxed out there.
Speaking of playing in a relaxed manner, there's another player who plays in an extremely relaxed manner. We're talking about Azam Khan. I mean, those hands, Butch, have a lot of power behind them.
They certainly do. There's plenty of weight behind every shot he plays, that is for sure. Listen, and he's such an exciting player. It's wonderful to see him finally sort of make a big impact in the tournament. Because when he gets going, he's as good as anybody at striking the ball out of the ground. And I guess the one thing for him in terms of his career progression is adding a little bit more sort of consistency to it all at the moment. And the more he plays, the more he's involved with wonderful players from around the world, the better he will get, because he has all of the talent in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his ability to strike, generally, Azam Khan, I mean, he's definitely one of those guys that you can bank on in terms of finishing games, and we've seen that as well. Arif Yaqub, another guy who was a star performer from that previous game. What an over it was. And it's one of those things, they were looking for a spinner in their squad. When you look at that lineup, having somebody like that as a surprise package, Ramiz.
I mean, not only did he perform brilliantly, but also I thought the captaincy from Babar Azam was really very impressive. Because to give a ball to a leg spinner in the 19th over, you don't do that very often. But I thought he bowled a splendid line, straight lines, didn't spin the ball a lot. We didn't see a lot of variation. It was basic stuff, just hitting that length. And then it was a kind of a panic-stricken response from the batting side.
Yeah, when the rates go up and you've got to try and read the leg spinner, it can be very, very difficult. He's won 3 out of 3 games that Yaqub has played. He's been the golden child for them, and long may it continue as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he definitely took a gamble, and it's a risk that paid off for Peshawar Zalmi. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your thoughts. We're all excited about this one because it's the first game that we have here in Pindi. Remember, Zalmi won the toss and they elected to field first. It should be an interesting game overall. The crowd is warming up. I'll tell you, it is a freezing day here. Zalmi's won the toss and they have elected to field. I'm sure they're all excited to see their respective sides in action. So don't go anywhere, because just in a couple of moments we'll be back with all the live pictures showing you what's happening on the ground. Should be a cracker of a contest.